the last game, individual game we're going to handicap here before we get to our penciled in Final Four picks. Can't wait to discuss that with you, Matt. Looking at Arizona, the 4 seed in the East region, taking on 13-seeded Akron. Point spread here. Speaking of teams that have flopped in the first round of the NCAA tournament before, or at least early on under Tommy Lloyd, the Arizona Wildcats are 13.5 point, 14.5 point favorites at some shops over the Akron Zips and John Gross. Total of 167.5. Where are you going here?
I'm going with Arizona, and I know that's not going to be a popular pick because of Tommy Lloyd's failure in the past, but what's worth mentioning, that Princeton first round loss was a 67 possession game that had 114 total points. Everyone was worried about Arizona against Long Beach last year, and I was on Arizona because Long Beach last year was 24th nationally in tempo. So Arizona played their style. It was a 78 possession game and they won by 20. And this year, super speedy Arizona draws Akron, who's 16th in tempo. This is not going to be a team that will force Arizona into a super slow, gross game where maybe Caleb Love misses 9 threes and then they sneak away with the win. Akron needs to run, and this is going to be, like you said, that total is massively high. The projected total on KenPom in terms of pace is at 73. I think it's going to go well above that. And you, as an Akron team that is nowhere near as talented, and one of the smallest teams in the entire country, I may add, third smallest team in the entire country, their backcourt is 5'11 and 6 foot. They're going to get completely outsized, outboarded, and one other thing I want to mention, this is a fade on the MAC conference as well. I'm curious if anyone has any thoughts on Lamar, the basketball team that made it to the Southland Conference. You know, you don't really think about them. That's the second best defense Akron's played this year per KenPom. Number 2, 87th in the country. And number 1 was St. Mary's. They lost by 19 in a game that wasn't even close, and Akron never had the lead. Arizona is a much more offensively gifted team than St. Mary's and can play Akron's style better than they can. So I think Akron's inflated, much like St. Mary's in the WCC. Akron jumped 37 spots in MAC play in one of the worst defensive conferences I think we've ever seen. So I think Arizona scores 100 here. I might dabble on a team total, and I think that they win by 20.
I like your point about second chance opportunities, especially against an undersized Zips team, 361st in average height, according to KenPom. And I know it's not only Tommy Lloyd, it's Caleb Love and his, speaking of shooting variance, but this is one game. We're not talking about Arizona going to the Final Four with Caleb Love, even though he did do it, to his credit, with UNC a few years ago. But I'm with you. If I had to bet a side in this game, I would have to take Arizona.